How's everybody doing? Gamer Mel, ahoy there. You must be happy after last night. A nice big victory for the Melbourne Storms. Broncos, Bulldogs in the first of 3 games today. Unfortunately for the Bulldogs, they're missing their captain, their leader, the inspirational best player, Stephen Crichton. And that, I'm afraid, is going to be too big an out for the Bulldogs to overcome. The Bulldogs kind of crappy away from home anyway, so they were always on a little bit of a hiding to nothing in this one, travelling up to Suncorp. But I do feel like no Stephen Crichton makes it, you never want to say impossible. You never want to say something is a definite, but I just think it's going to be too much to overcome. Stephen Crichton is such an inspiration. I mean, think about what he brought to the Panthers. What he brought to the Panthers when he was there is seriously understated. We focus on Nathan Cleary and what Nathan Cleary did in that last 10 minutes of the grand final, yeah? But Nathan Cleary can't do that without the work that Stephen Crichton put in. Honestly, go back, watch the highlights. If you don't believe me, just watch the highlights. And while everybody's watching Nathan Cleary, keep your eye down this side of the screen, this lower part of the screen, and just watch all the work that Stephen Crichton put in. Nathan Cleary does not get to dominate the back end of that match without Stephen Crichton. So anyways, enough about that because he's not playing today. UFC says Stephen Crichton makes me want to go full Curtis Capewell. Well, we don't need to hear about such things. Yes, indeed, Broncos, with the return of Adam Reynolds, have just looked a different team. Okay, it was one match. Okay, it was against the Knights. But still, you can't deny they looked a lot better with the presence of Adam Reynolds. And I think that should continue here today, especially at home at Suncorp. I'm expecting a lot of tries, and therefore I have stacked my same game multi with Broncos players. We've got the lone Bulldog there. So we're going to be joined by the old Panther tomorrow. So keep an idea in your heads about what topics we might want to throw at him tomorrow. I can tell you what I'm going to be throwing at him. We're going to be talking a little bit about the World Cup. We're going to be talking a little bit about these supposed Brian To'o whispers that I can't find any information on. So we want to find out if he's heard anything. And we're going to talk about the Olympics. Then we'll throw everything over to the chat room. I want to know what his reaction to that question would be as well. So yes, that's coming up here on the Waste the World of Sports tomorrow in the pre-game, where of course his Panthers will be taking on the Dragons in what should be an absolute schmozzling, let's be honest. But still, there'll be a good opportunity there for a trade. And that maybe I'll talk to him about trading as well. Because the old Panther is how I got started in trading. Okay, speaking of my trade, I've already made $13 off this game. As we rapidly approach kickoff, I could trade out now for another 15.
5 minutes.
I could get another 15 on the Broncos, and I could get another 10 off the Bulldogs, making it an overall profit of 25 on top of the 13 I've already won. It'd be $38 profit on this match, regardless of the result. But we're going to let it ride a little bit closer to kickoff. I'm expecting See, a good thing about betting on the Broncos is, or trading on the Broncos, is you get a lot of the casuals in. Brisbane Broncos, Penrith Panthers, Melbourne Storm, and in the Rugby Union, any game that Australia's involved in Australia, you get the casuals jump on, and it gives you some really good low prices on those teams that people just know. People know the Brisbane Broncos, so the casuals come in and bet on them, whether they understand the sport or not. Ollie is the best. Ahoy there. My mum Kim says ahoy. Ahoy there, Kim. Cheers. All right, we've got about 4 minutes till kickoff here, so a very special shout out to the Wasted Water Sports All-Stars. Thank you for your continued support. As I always say, not expected, but very much appreciated. Cheers to each and every one of you. If you'd like to become a Wasted Water Sports All-Star yourself, then there is an option to join the channel on the main page on YouTube, the Wasted Water Sports channel page. There is a join button there. I like to keep things nice and affordable. But if you do decide to take one of the higher ranking tiers, then you do get more in return as well. As a matter of fact, the highest available tier, once a month, you get to come on and co-host with me. Your face in a box next to mine. Once a month for your favourite team or a game of your choice, you get to replace Michelle in the co-hosting box. Suncorp Stadium is ready. We are ready. The teams are about to come out onto the field. And this would have been a fantastic game. And look, it still might. But I just think, as I said, with Stephen Crichton being absent, I can't see anything but one-way traffic here in favour of the home side as Kevy Walters is there getting them revved up. So same game multi. We've got the Big D. We've always got the Big D. Jordan Ricky, Karaz, and Corn on the combo. Karaz is really the only one that bothers me there, in all honesty. Mel, ahoy there. There's another happy Mel in the chat room. We've got Gamer Mel, who's happy with the Melbourne Storm picking up the victory last night. And we'd have Mel, who would also be happy with the Warriors picking up victory last night. After what can only be described as a little bit of a scare. Okay, trade update. Trade update. I can trade out now. If we trade out right now, $20, $20. So it'd be another $50 I've made off this game. Oh, another reason why this could be an absolute day out for the Broncos. Game number something. It's a milestone for Pat Carrigan.
This event will start in 60 seconds.
And you know how teams go when they've got a player with a milestone at home. You all know how that goes. Luke is ahoy there, mate. How are you going? So yes, game getting ready to get underway here. I'm going to seriously consider closing off these trades. Oh, look at that. It's dropping big time. I love it. Come on, baby. Get matched. Sorry. I'm just entertaining myself over here. Right, and we'll close that one off. Oh, that's marching all the way up there. Interesting. There we go. All right, we got matched on the Bulldogs. Still waiting to get matched on the Broncos, so let's just go ahead and drag that up there where it's a guarantee. And we're going to green up for a successful trade out at $86 profit. Regardless of the result, it hasn't even kicked off yet, and we've just made $86 off this game. On top of the 120 we made off the Warriors game. I would say that's a pretty good weekend out so far. So I'm doing pretty good, Luke. to answer that question. 2 successful trade-offs. Good stuff. Yes, Smell, a win is a win. Still got a lot of injuries and no goal kicker. Boy, did I feel for Harris Tavita. Harris Tavita having to once again go through the ordeal of goal kicking. The poor guy, you could see how nervous he was a couple of times there when he was lining up his shots at goal. And I'm just standing here thinking, poor bugger. Why have they done it to him? Luke, I'm from Brisbane. Well, originally from Newcastle, but I am currently in Brisbane. As this game is underway, the Broncos with the kickoff. Richard Traynor, ahoy there. This one has begun, and it's the Bulldogs with first use of the ball. Here at Suncorp Stadium. Game number 100 for Pat Carrigan. And remember, for the Bulldogs, no Stephen Crichton, so Jarrell Skelton gets a starting berth on that left centre. Styler, ahoy, mate. Fifth and last here for the Dogs, still inside their own 40. Big defence from the Broncos. Burton with the kick from inside the 40. It's a big one. Arthur's made it look a lot more difficult than it should have been to take that, but he does well to return the ball. Big hit here from the Bulldogs defence. Curran's in there. Kurt Mann's in there. A 3-man tackle, rocking the poor bugger backwards. Let's see if we can get this scoreboard to update. Because this one has begun. There we go. There we go. All right, that's a lot better. Reynolds with the kick. Pressure on him after he gets the kick away. Got to be careful with that. Well taken at the back there by Blake Wilson. And it's a penalty to the Broncos. A penalty to the Broncos. I was just saying you've got to be careful. Pressuring the kicker after he gets the kick away. You can't make contact at all, basically. There was absolutely nothing in that. Reed Marnie just throws his arms up. I can't believe what I've just been pinged for, he says. And I've got to say, I agree with him. There was absolutely nothing in that. But you can't make contact with the kickers anymore. You just can't. Maxwell Knight, ahoy there. That actually, now that I've seen the replay, that is just a really, really dodgy penalty to the Broncos. Walsh running around the back as he does, arcing around behind Reynolds. But the Bulldogs are wise to it. Tackle 2, 10 metres out. There's Hetherington, goes close. Front football here for the Broncos. Payne in the Haas on the crash ball. Half a metre short. What a dream start this would be for home. So terrible service from dummy half there for Billy Walters. It's over the head of Reynolds. Does he not realise Adam Reynolds is under 5 foot tall? Fifth and last, and that's a terrible kick from Reynolds under pressure. And that was a really poor end of set for the Broncos, starting with the pass from Billy Walters. Adam Reynolds would not have caught that pass if he were 10 feet tall. As opposed to the 3 foot something that he actually is. Anyway, I think that's a little bit of justice because that was a terrible penalty. Pressure on the kicker. It was actually, if you see the replay, it was actually Adam Reynolds who tackled Reed Marnie to the ground. Burton takes them on, almost goes through. Now, Viliami Kikau was coming into this game under a little bit of an injury cloud as well. And he was just with the trainer in back play, so we'll keep an eye on that too. Already down Stephen Crichton. They surely can't lose Viliami Kikau as well, the Bulldogs. Hey, I'll tell you what, one thing I have noticed is that since Viliami Kikau left the Panthers, he pretty much spends most of his time injured, right? That's interesting. Up over halfway go the Broncos. Ezra Mam in at first receiver. He's wrapped up on tackle 5. 47 metres they've gone upfield to the Bulldogs 40. Reynolds with the kick. Wilson's under it. Takes it well and steps away from the chaser. Good job there from Blake Wilson. I also considered Wilson for my same game multi, to be honest. Wilson Karaz. I could only really choose one. I suppose I could have put them in a combo. A Karaz-Wilson combo. Might have been alright. The Bulldogs are doing well here to hang on. They've been under a lot of early pressure. Burton, I'm so glad I traded out to Tracy. Through the hands now, Bronson Sherry dummies. Goes through a gap but then loses the ball. And now the Broncos can counter-attack with Arthurs up over halfway. Brought down just inside Bulldogs territory, but it was looking good for a moment there for the Bulldogs. Walsh in at first receiver. Fires it across to Hetherington, who's under immense pressure from Karaz. And they lose about 10 metres here, the Broncos, back in their own half. Ezra Mam now. Mam and Walsh are sharing first receiver duties with Reynolds, as Reynolds, I guess, continuing to just nurse himself back from that injury. Hayden in the Haas gets the arm free and offloads. Walters, dummies, goes on his own. Not that it would have mattered, because if you pass the ball, the player trying to catch it would have to be about 11 foot tall. Such has been his service today. Walters to Walsh again in at first receiver. Cuts out Mam onto the chest of Hetherington. Fifth and last for the Broncos. 20 out from the line. Short side play for Mam. Pops the pass up to Big D. And the Big D wasn't expecting it. And he drops it. And the Bulldogs survive again and have it back. 10 out from their own line. But the Bulldogs' defense, you got to give it to them. They're holding on. Through the hands again. Spreading it wide early. And Sherry steps back inside Staggs, but Staggs comes back at him and wraps him up. Gets a bum to the face for his troubles. Burton in a dummy half. Fires it across to Curran. Curran draws in 3. Goes down to his knees only. Quick play the ball. Flat pass on halfway. Hughes into Broncos territory for the 5th and last. Burton in midfield. High ball. Pressure on at the back here. Who's under it? Arthurs. And Arthurs takes it and surrenders in the tackle. DJ Shack, ahoy mate. How are you doing today? Both teams completing a 3 from 4. Walsh in at first receiver again. It's an interesting tactic there as Jensen takes another hit up. Walters from dummy half puts the kick in on tackle 4. There's space in behind, but it sits up at the back. Connor Tracy's there. Was the right idea. And Connor Tracy now draws in the defense and gets the pass away to Skelton. And the big man's brought down a few extra meters from that kick return. Bulldogs stay short side. Preston up to the 40. Gone on the Cobbo, wraps him up. Karaz. Just shy of the halfway line. Curran is crunched in the hip by Walters. Crowd's booing for some reason, and now Marnie will kick on tackle 4. Catching them napping at the back. Walsh is there with it. Passes it back to Corn on the Cobbo, who runs cross-field and makes himself an easy target in front of the post. Inside their own 10 here, the Broncos, the Dogs have just elevated a little bit here. They're sick of doing all this defense in their own half. And they've finally turned the Broncos around. Carrigan, the milestone man, takes it up on the 5th and last, but they're inside their own 40. Best defensive set of the match so far here for the Bulldogs. Reynolds will kick from inside the 40. Finds the turf. It bounces up for Skelton. And Skelton puts the step on. Gets on the outside. Offloads to Carraz in space. Carraz is up over halfway. Walsh to beat. Ezra Mam comes at him. He ducks under. One-on-one with Reece Walsh. And Walsh gets some support from Hetherington as Carraz slowed down and waited for somebody to pass it to. Nobody arrived. But it's the Bulldogs with front foot ball and numbers to the left. Bronson Sherry will score unmarked in the corner. What a start this is for the Bulldogs. Do not tell me an upset of epic proportions is on the cards here. From the kick return, the Broncos left the wing exposed. And from there on out, they had the front football and they had the numbers, did the Bulldogs. And they just stretched the Broncos to the other edge. It was 3-on-1, a simple draw and pass. Sherry untouched. That was some beautiful play from the Bulldogs. Look at this. Lined up to the left. Burton sums it up perfectly. Out the back to Tracy. Tracy draws in Arthurs. Had to jam in Jesse Arthurs. Try is confirmed. What a start for the Bulldogs. Duolingo, ahoy there. Burton, lining up the conversion, puts it down the middle. And the Bulldogs lead 6-0. Did anybody see this coming? Well, I've got to say, Duolingo, who has asked me how Adam Reynolds is doing, I don't think that Adam Reynolds is necessarily at 100%. Which is fair, because he's just come back from a long injury layoff, right? This is only his second game. Because the reason I say this is Ezra Mam and Reece Walsh have both spent a lot of time in this opening 12 minutes slotting into first receiver. Now, I can't recall the Broncos using that as a tactic before Reynolds was out injured. So I think this is just a way to obviously ease him back into game time as the Bulldogs go expansive again. And once again, they've stretched the Broncos down this edge. Sweaty Dens, ahoy mate. Tackle 3. And the Bulldogs taking the Broncos a little by surprise here, I think. And with expansive play early in the sets, inside ball almost puts Tracy into a hole. Fifth and last, Burton in midfield, puts the bomb up. Pressure at the back. Walsh gets under it. Walsh takes it, looks up. There's a wall of Bulldogs defence in front of him. And he's taken 5 metres out from his own line. And the Broncos are suddenly looking like a reserve grade team again. There's an intensity about this game that the Broncos are unable to match in the early stages. Arthurs has been folded in half here and he's hurt. Jesse Arthurs is hurt. Pain in the Haas. Takes the fifth and last. They're well inside their own half here, the Broncos. Reynolds from 30 out puts the kick in. Holy hell, he's got a good purchase on that, Reynolds, but it takes a horrible bounce for him. The 40-20 was well and truly on, but the ball bounces infield and goes dead for a 7-tackle set. Yeah, it's all right, UFC. He's back up. He's back in position. What a kick that could have been from Adam Reynolds. And here, the Bulldogs stretch it wide on the zero tackle. Kickout out in the centres. Burton from dummy half. It's another 15-metre gain. The Bulldogs are well and truly on top here. I'm so glad, UFC, that I traded out. I made $80 off this game, regardless of the result. Expansive again from the Bulldogs. Skelton in space down this near touchline. They are destroying the Broncos on the edges. This is incredible. Cameron Serrato has obviously spotted something here. Bobbling the ball is Kurt Mann. So he had nowhere to go in the end. Had to surrender. Robert M. Ahoy. Holding the pass up is Connor Tracy. The ball's back to Curran. Curran fires it out to Skelton. Attacking the edges again, the Bulldogs. They're 5 out. 5th and last. Sexton with the crossfield kick. It's a little too heavy. But the Bulldogs get up and compete. Kick out, taps it back. And it's been tapped dead by Reynolds. This will be a goal line dropout. A result for the Bulldogs. Keeping the pressure on the home side. So Robert M has asked who will Oates replace when he comes on? Well, that decision may have been made pretty easy because Jesse Arthurs got folded in half just a couple of minutes ago. And he appears to be not in a very good way as Reynolds puts the goal line dropout out on the full. And it'll be play the ball in midfield for the Bulldogs, sorry. But on the other hand, look, if Jesse Arthurs recovers, if it was just a little bit of a burner, a little bit of a cramp, and Jesse Arthurs recovers, I think the obvious replacement is Oates would come on for Corn on the Cobbo. Because honestly, Selwyn Cobbo really looks out of it today. And they attack Cobbo's edge again, but a dummy from Sexton and straightening takes the line on himself. Yeah, Cobbo's been burnt a couple of times by Carraz and Skelton. 10 out from the line here, the Bulldogs on the third. A grubber kick through in behind the line, sets up for Connor Tracy, and they've got another one, the Bulldogs. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. The Bulldogs, without Stephen Crichton, are putting on a rugby league lesson. I honestly thought, with no Stephen Crichton, they were no chance. I had never in my life been so confident as today to pick the Broncos to win. And the Bulldogs have caught them very flat-footed from the opening of the contest. What a start for the visitors. Putting on a clinic. DJ Shack said the commentators just said Cobbo dislocated his finger. Well, there you go. So they've got two very unhealthy wingers at the moment. The Broncos. And that could be why. That could be part of the reason why the Bulldogs are absolutely skittling the Broncos on the edges. I mean, they are just tearing the Broncos apart down both wings. And that could be it. Cobbo's got a dislocated finger and Arthurs has got a busted leg. Maybe Kevy needs to get Corey Oates out there ASAP for one of them. Burton with the conversion attempt. It just holds at line and stays inside that near upright. Richard Trainer says $100 on the Dogs win. Looking good. Long way to go, Richard. Long way to go. I was very lucky to have done a successful trade on this game, and I made $80 no matter what happens. I had guaranteed $80 profit before kickoff. Captain Redbeard, ahoy, mate. Yeah, Kevy Walters has got to coach the team. Now, see here, in all honesty, I've never rated Kevy Walters as much of a coach. I feel like he got lucky a little bit by his origin period. He came up against Freddie, yeah? And we all know what a terrible coach Freddie is as the Bulldogs go wide early again. And it's Skelton on the outside of Corn on the Cobbo. And it's a penalty to the Bulldogs. The Big D getting a little aggressive off the ball there. But it's another breakout wide early in the tackle count for the Bulldogs. Kevy's got to respond. Kevy has got to be a coach and respond. Even though it's early, he's got to get one of these guys off. Arthurs and Cobbo are getting torn to shreds. Yes, indeed. Robert Trent Barrett is working out a deal at the moment to come to the Broncos as an assistant coach. Dr. Pooh, ahoy! VB time. Nice. VB and a little 420. Jacob Preston on the inside line. Bulldogs back on the attack. Sexton runs to the line. Offloads. Hughes is there. Stands in the tackle. Catching the Broncos very flat-footed again. Man. Shrugs off Jensen. Gets free. Straightens. Almost goes through Hetherington, but pain in the hearse wraps him up. And Ezra Mam jumps in as the third man to try and look like he did something. Fifth and last. Through the hands now to Tracy. It's a little heavy on that kick, but it's also an obstruction. And a penalty to the Broncos. Viliami Kickout just overrunning it there. Giving away the penalty. Ross Palmer, ahoy there. Welcome along. Captain Redbeard says Kevy coached the Broncos like Eddie Jones coached the Wallabies. Oh. Jeez, I don't know. Look, I've just said I've never rated Kevy as a coach, but I would say, Captain Redbeard, the difference is Kevy's got the troops available to him. The Broncos on paper are still a decent team. The Wallabies on paper were never a good team when Eddie Jones took over. So I feel like Eddie gets a bit of a bad rap. Alex Mendoza. Ahoy there. Calix likes Brisbane. I go for the Sharks myself. Walsh is lined up from a mile back by Preston, and Preston wraps him up and drops him down. Fifth and last, Reynolds puts the high ball up. Tracy's under it. Tracy takes it and then beats the tackle. Connor Tracy's away upfield. Gets on the outside, offloads to Burton. Burton to Sherry. Sherry dummies and is wrapped up by Jesse Arthurs. Oh, straight to the edges again. Walters flies in with the shoulder. Not a lot of attempt to use the arms there. I've heard, Calix, and this could just be a rumour, but I've heard that in the lead up to every game, Reece Walsh watches the soccer for tips. He likes to practice, he likes to watch the soccer so he can get hints and tips on how to take dives and how to act like he's hurt after every tackle. I don't know if it's true or not. It's just a rumour I've heard. Kick out, puts the step on to Sherry. Quick hands, and on the outside goes Wilson, and Wilson well wrapped up by Jesse Arthurs. A try-saving tackle, you might say, because they were away again there. They're having a day out here, the Bulldogs on the edges. Jesse Arthurs caught way too infield. It was actually Tony Staggs who made the tackle. So there you go. I was giving Jesse Arthurs way too much credit. Wow, 17 and a half minutes to go in the first half. I honestly did not expect a 12-0 scoreline in favour of the Bulldogs. I'm so glad that I made my successful trade and I made $80 on this game regardless. Broncos can go on the attack here, though. Tackle 4. They're 30 out from the Bulldogs line. Carrigan in at first receiver to Mam. Out the back to Walsh. Walsh loses the ball. And it falls for Marnie. It's going to be called a knock on. And now he's down acting hurt again. Reece Walsh holding his ribs. Just like we saw in Origin 3. Acting like he was busted after every hit. Every time he makes an error, it's because he's got hurt in the tackle, not because he just sucks. Oh, what a rib tickler it was, though, from Jacob Preston. He is all over him today. Scrum down, Bulldogs. Trying to get on the outside again is Skelton. Okay, I can't help but notice there's been a shift. Corn on the Cobbo has moved in. The big D, Dane Mariner, has moved out to the wing. At least on defence. So that's probably a good call there from Kevy. Corn on the Cobbo has shifted into the centres on defence. Oh, now he's gone back out to the wing. Never mind. It was just for the scrum. The James, ahoy mate. Bulldogs back inside Broncos territory. 5th and last. 40 out from the line. Burton puts it high. Not a lot of distance on this one, but still it's contestable. Broncos let it bounce. Tapped back by Wilson to Kickow. Kickow, no looker into midfield. Marnie with the second kick. Crossfield onto the hands of Carraz, who offloads to Skelton, and the Bulldogs have come up with a miracle try. The most incredible try you will ever see. The Broncos stand back and watch the ball bounce. And as we always say, beware the second kick. Marnie hits his target. Carraz with beautiful hands. And Skelton's unmarked on the edge to score. Jesse Arthurs just stands back and watches it. Marnie in midfield. Hicks out. Carraz. Easy as you like. Oh, can you imagine if Stephen Crichton was playing? This could be 50-0 at halftime. And the Bulldogs can do no wrong at the moment. Try confirmed. They are putting on a show here for the fans at Suncorp Stadium. But for the Suncorp faithful, this is not the show that they wanted. By the way, James, I would just like you to know, and the proof is in the chat history on Discord, but I would just like you to know, all I said was I took a screenshot and I said that you and Michelle had way too much faith in the Tigers. Because I think you were the only two people that tipped the Tigers. That's all I said. Everything else was him. Burton from out wide this time. He can't keep it on target. But it is the Bulldogs leading 16 points to 0. Well, the interesting thing is, I probably would have been very tempted, speaking of upsets, I probably would have been tempted to go the Bulldogs were it not for Stephen Crichton being pulled out of this game. The Bulldogs proving me wrong at the moment. I honestly thought without Crichton, they stood no chance. But they have caught the Broncos well and truly off guard here. 13 and a half minutes to go till the break. 16 points to 0. %61 possession. Flat pass there in midfield to Preston. Curran. Wrapped up in the tackle, driven backwards. But still some valuable meters. 30 out from the line here. The Bulldogs, fifth and last. Burton waits for it. From inside the 40, he looks for height and distance. Taken on the full by Arthurs at the back. Arthurs gets on the outside of kick out. Almost gets through. Bailey Hayward. But he's taken in midfield. 30 out. Walsh shuffles it on to corner on the Cobbo. Cobbo's wrapped up. Some very unhealthy looking players out there for the Broncos. It's got to be said. Walsh seems like he's limping after every run. He pretends like his ribs have been broken in half after every tackle. Reynolds is not getting very heavily involved in the play. Walsh and Ezra Mam are playing a lot of sets in at first receiver. Arthurs has got a busted leg. Corn on the Cobbo has got the dislocated finger. They're a busted up team at the moment. Reynolds puts it high. Tracy's under it for the Bulldogs. Takes it well. And he is lined up in the chase by Katoni Staggs. And the knock-on is called. Could that be the momentum changer? A knock-on at the back by Connor Tracy. Is that the momentum swinging moment? The Broncos will have a full set of 6 on the attack. 10 out from the line. That could be a big mistake. Scrum down. They break to the right. Walsh in at first receiver. Steps Burton. Steps kick out. Here goes Walsh fighting his way over the line. Did he get the ball down? It's gone up as a try. Reece Walsh with a great solo effort there. Made it look way too easy. Made a complete twit out of Matt Burton. And he was too fast for Viliami Kikau. And the Broncos, with one opportunity, they hit back. Burton overcommitting to the outside. Kick out flat-footed. Run on Engel. This will be a good one to see. There it goes. The ball goes down. 16 points to 4. The kick to come. Crowd dancing around like they're not 12 points down. Yes. Yes, it's not time for celebration, that's for sure. Yeah, well, there's no point telling him that, Reece Walsh, because he'd celebrate a try if they were getting belted by 100. Try confirmed. And it is 16 points to 4, the kick to come. Reynolds, from just to the right of the post, hooks it off to the left horribly. Adam Reynolds, probably the worst attempted goal in his entire career. And it's 16 points to 4. What a disaster of a conversion attempt. Chanel Harris-Tavita could have done better than that. Maybe. Poor Harris-Tavita. We've got to lay off him. We got to give the kid a break. Well, that was a very important try for the Broncos, it must be said. 16 points to 4. Big defense from the restart here for the Bulldogs, driving them back towards the try line. And the Broncos will start this set half a metre out from their own line. And this is more big defense driving them backwards. Forcing the offload in the end goal to Mam. Mam runs back into the field of play. Oh, the Bulldogs, they are pissed off about that try. They are not happy with themselves. They have just elevated in defense. Forcing the Broncos into a very risky offload. Walsh with the kick. From inside his own 40, Walsh gets the 40-20. Are you kidding me? He likes it. But then he'd like it if he kicked it out on the full as well. It was a 25-20 is what it was. From well inside his own 40. And the Broncos, from under the pump to on the attack in one play. Payne in the Haas takes on Viliami Kikau. That's a stalemate. Reynolds to Walsh. Walsh takes it to the line. At the back to the Big D. Beats one. Can't stand and keep his feet. Big D gets a penalty, crowding the ruck area. And this game suddenly looks very, very different. There's just a very different feel about the momentum in this contest now. Tackle one for the Broncos. 10 out from the line. Reynolds to Mam. Cutout pass is knocked on in the attempted intercept by Blake Wilson. So the pressure stays on. Looking for more points here before halftime. The Broncos. Carrigan settles it down beside the post. 5 out. Reynolds. Walsh arcing around the back again. Oh, he's folded in half by Sexton and Preston. Preston is all over him down this end of the field. Flat pass there to Willison. Bumps down in the tackle for 3. Walters from dummy half. Shrugs off Hayward. Goes again, does Walters. Walsh in a dummy half to Carrigan. Carrigan caught flat-footed. Back to Payne in the Haas, who's also flat-footed. Runs across field. Gets the arms free. Beats one. Beats two. Shrugs off a third. Puts the grubber kick in. And it sits up for Wilson at the back. A grubber kick from Payne in the Haas. Kicking duties revoked. No more kicking, big fella. And the Bulldogs hold on. 16 points to 4. No, I didn't watch any of the Olympics, James. All I know about the Olympics opening ceremony is that a lot of my friends, obviously, connected through Michelle, are heavy metal fans. So all I've seen all day is Gojira at or whatever the hell they're called, at the opening ceremony. Bronson Sherry, chips and chases. It pops up for him. And he's almost free, but that's a handover inside Broncos territory. Dean loves stuff, ahoy! Yeah, so that's all I've seen. My entire feed is just all my mates just posting a clip of that band performing and going, "This is the best. This is the best opening ceremony ever." And I watched a bit of that clip, and like, I'm not into that sort of music, so I've just sort of watched it like, the fuck are they even saying? What is this band even singing about? So I don't know what was going on, but anyway, I digress. Bulldogs back in possession. 4 minutes to go till the break. All the Bulldogs' momentum has been sucked out of this game. They are now pinned down in their own half. Tackle 4. They're only just now outside the 20. on the 5th and last. Burton needs a big kick here, and he gets a huge purchase on it. Walsh is back for it, takes it on the full. Runs it back across field. Picked up and driven backwards now, Walsh. Tackle 3. Up towards halfway go the Broncos. Mam in a dummy half to Willison. Willison gets a big charge on. Into Bulldogs territory. Carrigan out the back to Reynolds. Reynolds is lined up by Kickow. Kickow takes him down. What a solid hit that was. 5th and last. Walsh with the chip and chase. It goes straight down the throat of Marnie though. And now Marnie is susceptible to a one-on-one strip. But he's already on the ground and that's a penalty. The Reece Walsh Rocks or Diamonds show continues, and it comes up rocks this time. A very relieving penalty for the Bulldogs, giving them an opportunity here to strike right before the halftime break. Have you ever tried frog's legs, James? I haven't. I don't know that I ever would, to be honest. Burton throws the old backyard dummy. And the Bulldogs inside Broncos territory, going back on the attack. Can they wrestle momentum back in this contest? Kick out. Brought down by Carrigan. And Ricky, I think he's in there as well. Jordan Ricky. That's the third. Through the hands now. Burton holds the pass up perfectly for Carraz, who gets the arms free. Offloads to Tracy. Tracy to Skelton. Skelton's brought down half a metre short by the Big D. On tackle 4 from dummy half goes Burton. Pops it back and Willison pulls off the intercept. They just rushed it a little bit there, the Bulldogs. The Broncos crucially survive. A minute to go till the halftime break, and what's turned out to be quite an exciting first half. Walters shrugs off a couple, offloads back to Reynolds, who puts a grubber kick through. It sets up, and here goes Staggs. Staggs goes straight through. One to beat. He beats him, and Staggs will score. Katoni Staggs will score the try right on the stroke of half-time. What an incredible turnaround this has been. The vision of Adam Reynolds. He caught them napping. It looked like the Bulldogs were going to score down the other end and extend their lead going into the break. But instead, the Broncos turn it around. Reynolds. Oh, it was Ezra Mam who put the grubber kick in. Jeez, there I am giving Adam Reynolds all the credit. It was Ezra Mam with the vision. And Katoni Staggs did all the hard work, though. Beating 2 and scoring right on the stroke of half-time. Beats Connor Tracy. Beats Bronson Sherry. Alphonse Nicholas. Ahoy there. Maroons or Blues? No, my team is Bulldogs. Stephen Crichton's out injured. DJ? Samuel Matthew says if Bronx lose this game, their season would come to an end. Quite possibly. Reynolds, he missed from here earlier. He puts it over this time. And we will go into halftime 16 points to 10. Wow. What a half of football. It was all Bulldogs. Well, it was actually all Broncos at the start. The Bulldogs weathered the early storm, but then the Broncos hit back right on the stroke of halftime. Big Mo Bambino, ahoy there. How are you doing, mate? SummerSlam next month. Yes, indeed. I'd be lying if I said I'm overly excited for SummerSlam, although it will be great. And I never thought a couple of years ago I would say this, but how good is it going to be to have Roman Reigns back? I honestly never thought I would say those words. Styler says Broncos will dominate the second half. They've certainly turned the momentum around in this game, haven't they? They have completely shifted the momentum in this match. And yeah, probably halftime came at a good moment for the Bulldogs, I think, because if there was even 5 minutes left in that half, I reckon the Broncos score another try. UFC says, who just went off? Everyone, because it's halftime. Sorry, I'll show myself out. Teto Puckmot says, go doggies, woof woof. Skyfinks, ahoy mate. Yes, we're doing all the games. All 3 games. Back on the trusty old Captain Morgans today, Styler. Back to Old Faithful. Actually, I saw a fantastic meme, Captain Redbeard. I posted it in the wrestling chat. I posted it in the wrestling chat on Discord, but I'll see if I can put it up on the screen here. I'll see if I can get it to show up on the screen here. So it's a meme of Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, and then just here's Seth Rollins. I don't know if this will... A lot of glare off the TV, so that didn't quite work. But anyway, for those of you on Discord, it's on the Discord in the wrestling chat. The wrestling chat. All right, Westwater Sports halftime here in what has been a truly invigorating first half. It was all Bulldogs, and then it was all Broncos. It is the Bulldogs with the lead, 16 points to 10 at the break. I'm going to have a quick break myself. And we'll be back for all the second half action here on a big day of Wasted Water Sports action. Another couple of games left to go after this one as well. We'll have a short break after this game. And then there'll be a new stream for the other 2 games, the doubleheader. Whoops, nearly threw my phone accidentally. All right, half time. Be right back after this.
Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play, but it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Scrums and tries, they're all well and good, but we're here for the jokes and 10 pass last from the kickoff to the final whistles blow. We'll take the 2 and we're ready to go. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest. With a laugh and a cheer, we bring out our best. No serious analysis, no expert critiques, just a bunch of mates sharing plenty of drinks. We'll raise a roll, from sideline judge to post-match tales. All big goofs and their big fails. We're not so serious, and that's our style. With each ahoy, we raise our skies. Ahoy, ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. So come along and join our sporty crew, where the banter's always fresh and the laughs are true. Oh, wasted world of sports, here's to our cheer. We'll see you on the pitch and drink some beer.
The wasted world of sports, eh?
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack.
Ahoy!
He's nearly taken security's head off.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports is.
All right, wasted world of sports. We are ready for second half action here. 16 points to 10. Not a single tick off the same game multi, but luckily we made some successful trades before the game even kicked off for an $80 profit, regardless of what happens. And it's moments like this, I can tell you, when you do sports trading, it's moments like this where the security around having the result all tied up before the game even kicks off, you lose the thrill of the in-game back and forth. But nothing beats the guaranteed profit. Bulldogs, ahoy there. Hey, shouldn't you be getting ready for the second half? The Bulldogs are in the chat room. Alphonse Nicholas says, go Broncos, 2005 spirit. Warrior, ahoy there. Congratulations on the win last night. Warriors over the Tigers. Sky thinks I got all my tips correct. The Broncos better not fail me. I'll tell you what, Sky thinks, the Broncos women let me down. I had tipped the Broncos women to defeat Parramatta. No such luck. They got belted. And it looked like, for a short time there, it looked like it was going to be 2 losses out of 2 for the Broncos today. But they have successfully fought their way back into this contest. They've done it extremely well. Ashley Baby, ahoy there. Go Bulldogs. Who's my favourite player for every team? Well, there's not enough time. I'll tell you what. if we have time, we'll do that. We'll answer that question in depth some other time. There's definitely no time in a half-time break. Every player for every team. That's a lot. Alexi, 84. Ahoy there. Santé. Dr. Pooh says Warriors beat Broncos for the first time in history in 2005. Great year. Is that right? Oh, there you go. Duolingo says, talking about halftime, how long is it? Too long. Too bloody long. I run out of things to say. Especially in a game like this, where it's been relatively low scoring. I think the Bulldogs took everybody by surprise, though, yeah? They raced out of the blocks. Stretching the Broncos left, stretching the Broncos right. Racing out to a 16 points to 0 lead, but the Broncos with the last 2 tries and carrying all the momentum into the break. Mitchell Vella Sport. Do you think the Broncos will win for my birthday? Is it your birthday today, Mitchell Vella? Which side of the screen does it look like I've got a black eye? That one. Okay. I need more lighting on that side of the screen. There we go. Oh, God. Okay, now I've got ghost face. Too bright. Too bright. There we go. That's better. It's your birthday today. Oh, happy birthday, Mitchell Vella. Hang on a second. The teams are coming out for the second half. Here they come out for the second half, the 2 teams. Right. Quickly. Let's, birthday shout out. A happy birthday to Mitchell Vella Sports. Cheers, mate. And happy birthday. Oh, yes. Well, can the Broncos win for your birthday? They've given themselves a very good chance. Had they gone into the break at 16 points to 0? Who knows? But the second half is underway and they've gotten themselves back in the contest, 16 points to 10. And the Broncos carrying the momentum into the halftime break. And they have first use of it here in the second 40. Duolingo, you like the Dragons? Ooh, you must be feeling pretty nervous about tomorrow then, huh? Coming up against the almighty Penrith Panthers. This is a big set of 6 to start the second half. The Broncos up over halfway. Reynolds with the kick. Tracy takes it on the full. And for the Bulldogs, they've just got to wrestle the momentum back in this game. They've got to do what they were doing in the opening stages. Oh, Sweaty Dens. A Sharks fan. Nice. A long-suffering Sharks supporter, just like me. Through the hands go the Bulldogs. This is what they were doing in the first half. Kick out, though. Offloads to Hayward as he starts to get driven backwards. Moran in midfield. Oh, that's an awkward fall. Down the short side they stay on the 4th. Preston breaks straight through. Where's his support? Preston, one to beat. He takes on Reece Walsh. He runs straight over the top of him. But that roadblock was just enough for Corn on the Cobbo to grab him from behind. 5th and last, though. Front foot ball. Tracy wraps around. They get set restarted. But Viliami Kikau only needs one tackle. And the Bulldogs have started the second half much like they started the first. Stretching the Broncos left and right. And Viliami Kikau scores. What a start to the second half. Jacob Preston using Reece Walsh as a roadblock. As a road speed bump. That's the goddamn word I'm looking for. Takes him on. Boom. Big, don't argue. But it was enough to slow him down, and Corn on the Cobbo gets him from behind. But from there, simple play, wraparound from Connor Tracy. Gets the arms free, offloads to Kikau. They had 3-on-1, but Kikau says, I'll go on my own, thanks. I want a meat pie. I'm feeling hungry. And over he goes. The Bulldogs stretch their lead. Jacob Preston. The line break was just way too easy. Oh, you know what I've just realised? I've just realised that Bulldogs... I've just realised that Bulldogs is Warriors. He's just changed his name again to confuse me. Conversion successful here from Matty Burton. Kobe Hetherington's gone on report for a crusher. Oh, okay. That's why Curtis Moran winced in pain in back play, because crusher tackle. And Hetherington's going to be spending a couple of weeks on the sideline. 22 points to 10, back underway. This same game multi is shot to pieces, isn't it? It's cut to ribbons worse than the Broncos' edge defense today. I don't know. Bulldogs tackle for offloads, keeping it alive. Marnie to Preston. Preston out to Carraz. Carraz steps in field. I'm not used to Carraz being in the centres. It's so confusing. It is so confusing seeing Carraz in the centres. 5th and last. Burton from just outside the 40. He just took a step out. Taken on the full. Arthurs puts the step on. Beats one, but he's wrapped up by Sherry. What a start to this second half for the Bulldogs. Broncos stay on the short side. Arthurs wrapped up. 0 metres gained. For the third. Payne in the Haas. Winds the big legs up. But he can't break through. Walsh in a dummy half. Up to Carrigan. Carrigan takes the 5th and last. Still inside their own half. Reynolds gets the kick away. Taken on the full by Tracy at the back. Tracy runs it back to the 20. Looks to offload. He does. And Skelton goes to ground. 20 out from their own line here, the Bulldogs. They have successfully wrestled the momentum back in this one. The Broncos did all the hard work to get themselves back in this game. They will be devastated, leaking that early try. Burton from dummy half, looking for a penalty. But the Broncos retreat just enough. Marnie at first receiver to Hayward. Out the back to Sexton. The cutout pass to Carraz. Carraz creates some space for Skelton, who shrugs off corn on the Cobbo. Numbers everywhere for the Bulldogs, but the pass goes about 72 metres forward. And they've butchered a try here, the Bulldogs. Oh, they had 4 on 1. There were more points just gone begging. Oh, they are just eating the Broncos alive on the edges. This is incredible. Kevy Walters has got to pull the trigger. Corey Oates has got to be sent out there. Marty Tapau's on. It's a solid first run. Up towards halfway they go. Reynolds out the back to Walsh. Walsh holds the pass up for Ricky. Ricky tries to shrug off Burton. Kick out comes in for support. From dummy half goes Smoothie. Carrigan offloads to nobody and Hayward attacks the loose ball. Walsh passes to the invisible man. Corn on the Cobbo collects it. Shrugs off one. Then he's rattled by Skelton in the tackle. The James says the next 20 minutes is the Broncos' season on the line. Quite possibly so. There is the season as far as it being in their own hands, most certainly. They'd be hoping on results going their way, should they lose any games from now on in. Stennis Elias, ahoy there. Stennis says, come on Broncos. This one sits up for Connor Tracy at the back and the Bulldogs have it. Oh, Blake Moses out there. Blake Moses obviously couldn't find headgear that fits his head. Very, very tiny headgear. Never seen anything like it. Duolingo says, my friend is Corn on the Cobbo's cousin. Is that right? Sexton holds the pass up for Preston. Fifth and last for the Bulldogs, still inside their own half. Burton puts a huge kick in. Arthurs retreats, takes it on the full. But he is lined up by Bailey Hayward. And the Broncos, driven backwards now, is Corn on the Cobbo. Hammered in the tackle. And the Bulldogs have got themselves right back on top in this one. 30 minutes remain. As the James said, the Broncos season potentially in the balance. If they lose this, they're going to need results to go their way for the rest of the year. And what I mean by that, obviously, is they're going to need some upsets. The Tigers or the Titans, or they're going to have to start beating some of the teams the Broncos are competing with for that 8th spot on the ladder. Connor Tracy takes it on the full. Ezra Mam lines him up, but he bumps away, regains his feet. Takes them on, gets on the outside. Now gets a one-on-one opportunity, but the Broncos defense scrambles. 20 out from their own line, the Bulldogs. Wilson, one-on-one strip there from Ezra. And Ezra Mam with a big one-on-one steal. Clutching onto it like it's a... I don't want to say. Duolingo. Yes, we will be live tomorrow. 29 and a half minutes to go. Crucial phase of the game here. 5 out from the line. Reynolds out the back to Mam. Out the back to Staggs. Staggs draws in the winger but can't get the arms free. And now Staggs loses the ball. Staggs has knocked it on. Katoni Staggs calling for the captain's challenge. And they have to. They have to. Oh, Adam Reynolds is down. Adam Reynolds is down. Adam Reynolds is down and cannot move. Adam Reynolds is down on his haunches. He's on his hands and knees in back play. That could be the Broncos' season right there. Never mind the result. Reynolds is limping. He's holding his hip and limping. He's up on his feet, but he is holding his hip and limping. He picks up the ball. Does Adam Reynolds? He continues to limp. Adam Reynolds could be broken. That could be the Broncos' season, regardless of the result. Keep an eye on that. Katoni Staggs gone goofed up there. And they've also wasted their challenge on the back of that. Not only did Katoni Staggs lose the ball, but he also convinced the Broncos into wasting their challenge. Bulldogs scrum, 10 out from their own line. They win the ball. Where's Adam Reynolds in the defensive line? I would be running straight at him. Big defense here on Josh Curran. He's driven backwards by Moser, Tapau, and Carrigan. 3-man tackle. Here's Reynolds. He's still limping. Reynolds is still limping in the defensive line. And if the Bulldogs are smart, they are just going to spend the rest of this game running straight at him. They will make a beeline right for Adam Reynolds. That's the third tackle. Oh, fourth tackle now. 30 out from their own line. Money with the kick early from dummy half. Finds some space in behind Reece Walsh. Walsh runs back and collects it. Just on his own try line. He's now driven backwards to the 10. And the Broncos have to go length of the field. They were on the attack. They now have to go the length of the field. Is Adam Reynolds even back? Not that it matters, because they'll just be doing hit-ups from here. Keep an eye on Adam Reynolds. The Broncos season could be there in that play. He is still running with a little bit of a cork in his leg. Arthurs beats one. Can't get through a kick out. That's the fourth. Carrigan runs a great line and charges up over the halfway line. Fifth and last. 40 out. Short side. There's Reynolds. Gets the kick away. Connor Tracy takes it on the full. Puts the step on. Does Tracy. Brings it back to the 10. Reynolds is still not walking freely. He is not 100%. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, God damn it. Why does it do that? Why does it choose? Why does it choose when I'm live streaming to update all my Adobe apps? It freaks James out. James thinks he's got email. It freaks me out because it's the exact same sound when the stream disconnects. Every single time without fail, it decides to update my Adobe apps during the live streams. Ollie is the best. Ahoy, mate. Yes, we will be doing all 3 games tonight. 26 minutes left in this one. Broncos back in possession, trailing by 2 converted tries. Reynolds is still favouring that leg. He's not 100%. That could be a huge, huge moment in this contest. A huge takeaway for the Broncos season. Adam Reynolds, his second game back, and he's already re-injured. Here he is with the ball inside to Tapau. The Bulldogs read it well. Fifth and last. Walsh puts the kick in straight down the middle of the field. It finds the turf. It sits up for Tracy. Tracy collects it. Runs straight at Adam Reynolds. Smart play. Carrigan's off. Carrigan's off for a rest as well. Geez, Carrigan is usually an 80-minute player, yeah? So that's interesting. Giving him a little bit of a rest, I suppose, to come back out for one huge 110% effort stint at the back end of the game, I suppose. Now, the Bulldogs attack this left edge again. Sherry dummies, almost goes through. Well wrapped up there by Katoni Staggs. Fifth and last. 40 out front of the Broncos line. Sexton with the high ball cross field. Cobbo's under it. Cobbo takes it, and he's wrapped up by Jacob Carraz, but a penalty to the Broncos. The Bulldogs inside the 10. A little over-enthusiastic there, the Bulldogs chase. $22 points to 10. 24 minutes to go. Broncos in possession. 40 out from their own line. Tackle 1. Payne in the Haas with the hit up. Almost goes through. Takes it up to halfway. Good run there. Reynolds. Dummies inside to Tapau. Goes outside to Walsh. Walsh has to surrender because he gets in behind Katoni Staggs, it might have been. And now Walsh is manhandled by Kickow and Curran. That's the third on halfway. Payne in the Haas, offload. Back to Jensen. Tapau. Up the middle, fifth and last. 30 out from the Bulldogs line. Reynolds with the crossfield kick. Broncos are chasing through. Pressure at the back on Wilson. Wilson takes it well. Bulldogs have it, but they're inside their own 10. 2 converted tries the difference. Time starting to run out here for the Broncos. How crucial could that try right after halftime be? That might be the most critical try of the Bulldogs season. And the most disastrous try of the Broncos season. Burton with the cutout pass. Hits the chest of Sherry. Sherry draws in Arthurs. Sends Wilson down the sideline. Wilson draws in Walsh. Back inside to Connor Tracy. And the Bulldogs are in again. Dismantling the Broncos on the left edge once more. And that was all just a little too easy. Matt Burton with the cutout pass. Right onto the chest of Bronson Xerri. The Broncos leave their edge exposed once more. Walsh has it covered. Ezra Mam slips on a banana peel. And Connor Tracy dives in under the posts. Try confirmed, and the Bulldogs extend their lead. From right in front, Matt Burton puts it over, and the Bulldogs lead 28 points to 10. Unbelievable. Beautiful backline play. They are just destroying the Broncos on the edges. And I've got to be honest, Kevy Walters has just taken too long to respond. Kevy Walters should have responded early and got Corey Oates out there. I completely understand that an interchange like that as the Broncos go short and it's out on the full. The kickoff is out on the full from Reece Walsh. The Rocks and Diamonds show continues for Reece Weesey. And the Bulldogs get gifted easy field position. Bulldogs Canterbury, ahoy there. Now, what was I on about? Yeah, Kevy just took too long. He's taken too long to respond. When you are getting absolutely decimated on the edges, the way that the Broncos have been all game, you've got to respond and alter your interchange, alter your rotation. Corey Oates is sitting there, catching a cold on the sideline. Fix the edges. Sexton on tackle 3, puts it in behind. There's nobody at the back for the Broncos. Walsh caught horribly out of position. Big D goes back and collects it in the end goal. And it's a goal line dropout. Robert Farris, best on ground so far. Oh, geez. One of the Bulldogs players, for sure. I'm going to say... I would have to say my man of the match at the moment, as this goal line restart goes out on the full, it's another one overcooked from Reynolds. And the Bulldogs are looking to put this game to bed now. I'm actually going to say that maybe Gerald Skelton. The Bulldogs have been dismantling the Broncos on the edges. Skelton has found a lot of space. Preston has been using the Broncos' defense as speed bumps all game. And he is lined up. And here is Preston for the try line. He's over the line. He's held up and driven back into the field of play. Well, a try there would have sealed the deal for Preston as man of the match. Doesn't quite make it. Hayward. Dummies. Straightens. Tackle 3. 10 metres out from the line here. In front of the posts. Marnie sends it left to Sexton. Kickow on the flat ball. That's the 4th. Burton slots into dummy half. Marnie in at first receiver. Hayward out the back to Sexton. Tracy on the loop. Inside ball to Carraz. Carraz is over to score. Carraz scores. We finally get a tick off the multi. Carraz scores what is surely the match winner for the Bulldogs. 32 points to 10 without Stephen Crichton at Suncorp Stadium. Unbelievable. Take a goddamn bow, Bulldogs. Seriously. They are the real deal in season 2024. They are the real deal. Oh, the multi's over, Dr. Pooh. It's all good, though. We had a successful trade before the game even kicked off. So I've won $80 on this game, regardless of the result. Thank God. Thank God I closed that trade off. James says, come on, Broncos. Join Para and the Tigers. This is a statement victory for the Bulldogs. It really is. They proved me horribly wrong. Well, both teams proved me wrong because, honestly, I thought with Adam Reynolds back, I thought the Broncos were back as Burton puts this one right down the middle to make it 34 points to 10. With the return of Adam Reynolds, I thought the Broncos were back. Without Stephen Crichton playing today, I thought the Bulldogs were no chance. Both teams have successfully proved me wrong. Horribly wrong. Because this has been an annihilation. This hasn't even been close. It's been a no contest. If it were boxing, you'd call the fight off right now. That was the knockout punch. It's fight over. Broncos go short with the restart, and they knock it on. Corn on the Cobbo is now hobbling. Oh, they're busted and broken and bruised. Corn on the Cobbo with the knock on. And he gets up limping. Robert Farris says, pity the Dogs lost last week, would be entrenched in the top 5. Yeah, I was really disappointed with the Bulldogs last week. As a matter of fact, Robert, the Bulldogs' performance last week is pretty much the sole reason that I tipped the Broncos this week. Because the Bulldogs were awful. They should have won. This is how I expected them to play. Richard Trainer, cash out, turned $3 into 15. Nice job, mate. AFBOCC says Celine Dion was outstanding at the opening ceremony on Friday night. Hey, whatever floats your boat. I make no judgments over people's musical tastes. Ross Palmer says a champion team will always beat a team of champions. Oh, we're highlighting that comment because how true it is. I'll drink to that, Ross. I will drink to that. How often do we see it, right? There's Alfie Lango ready to come onto the field. Oh, no, wait. Corey Oates is coming onto the field. Alfie's just there because he loves being there. Get off the field, Alfie! So it's taken 34 points to 10, 14 and a half minutes to go for Kevy to finally pull the trigger and send Corey Oates out there. And that, my friends, is why I do not rate Kevy as a coach. He needed to make that change so much earlier in the game. Even though it was going to leave the Broncos an interchange short, it was going to mess up their rotation, but you have to adjust on the fly to these things. They were getting killed on the edges as they come up with a mistake on tackle 1 now. Jordan Ricky loses the ball on play 1, and the Bulldogs will have the ball back inside Broncos territory, looking to pile on more pain and misery. But 34 points to 10, 14 minutes left in the match. The Broncos' edges have been getting destroyed. Left and right, James, but yes, especially the left. You've got to make that call so much earlier. And he just didn't. He just didn't. Bulldogs win the scrum. Richie Bennett. Ahoy there, mate. Richie Bennett says, just wanted to put out there, are there any Reece Walsh fans here? No, I don't think that there's any. I don't think there's any 16-year-old girls in the chat. So, no Reece Walsh fans here, mate. Tackle 3, Bulldogs 20 meters out. Sexton has it in front of the post. Pain in the Haas gets him, and if Pain in the Haas gets you. Fifth and last, Marnie goes short side. Tracy puts the grubber kick in. Ezra Mam leaves it behind. And it's called a knock on. Bulldogs will get it back. 12 and a half to go. The Big D's down. The Broncos are just bruised and busted. Big D's down in back play now. Dane Mariner limping. Adam Reynolds has been limping. 12 minutes to go in this game. This result has potentially shaken up the Wasted World of Sports tipping contest. Burton, from the scrum, steps back into midfield, runs across the face of the defence. Takes tackle 1, 10 out from the line. Curran bobbles the ball, loses it behind him. Now it's called a knock-on. Curran loses it. What a let-off there for the Broncos, but with 11 and a half minutes to go, don't think it matters much, but it won't make the coach happy. That's for sure. Big hit from Jordan Ricky. Richie Bennett has faith. Broncos by 2. Wow. 10 and a half minutes remaining. Broncos by 2. That is a huge call. Dr. Pooh says, I like Reese. He is better skilled than any of us here. Hey, Dr. Pooh, you haven't seen me play, all right? I take great offense to that. But no, you're right. He is better than me. We need Ponga in the state of origin. But we got a confused little snowflake. Robert Farris says to think no Adokar, Max King, or Crichton. Jessica says Dogs by 32. Fifth and last here for the Broncos. The kick is taken on the fall by Connor Tracy at the back. Tracy's lined up by Oates. And this is really just a failure by Kevin Walters as a coach to react to what was happening on the field. I don't think Kevin Walters is a very good coach. I really don't. He benefited from State of Origin being up against a coach who's even worse than he is. So he got away with it. Sexton holds the pass up, puts Preston into a gaping hole. Preston off to Marnie. Marnie draws in Mam and Walsh, and Connor Tracy steps inside and scores again for the Bulldogs. 38 points to 10. Connor Tracy scores. Jacob Preston's man of the match performance continues. Nine minutes to go, and we cut to a crowd shot of more Broncos supporters getting up and throwing in the towel. Sexton here holds the pass up to perfection. Marnie sums it up. Connor Tracy steps back in field. Connor Tracy, the Sharks let this guy go. Can I just throw this out there? The Cronulla Sharks, my team, let this man go. They didn't even fight to keep him. They let him walk out the door to the Bulldogs. No, I was obviously only joking, Dr. Pooh. I didn't play fullback when I played anyway. Goro, Maggie, ahoy there, or Goro Maggie. Bronx season over. Teto Pakmot says, what a good performance by the Doggies. As Burton converts, and they lead 40 points to 10, they could crack the 50. My reason, DJ Shack, and you raise a good point about underestimating the Bulldogs' depth. My reasoning was the Bulldogs, and I'm pulling this statistic from deep in the recesses of my memory bank, but I think they had lost. Basically, I'll just say it like this: but they basically lost every single away game, apart from maybe one or two. They pretty much lost every road game going into this one. apart from one or two against nobodies, I think. That was my reasoning for thinking that Stephen Crichton, away from home with such a poor away record, was a bridge too far. That was my reasoning for it. The Broncos away from home stink, apart from today. I mean, the Bulldogs. Did I say Bulldogs or Broncos? Bulldogs away from home this season have stunk the joint out normally. They've played very well today. The Big D has been taken off the field. The Big D is done for the night. He's blown his load. What a take from that restart, by the way. Was that Filiami kick-out? And Curran's busted here. We've got an injury timeout. Bulldogs back on the attack here. Burton bends off Reynolds. Tapau comes at him, puts him down. Hayward to Man. Man tries to fend off Moser. But like every good Mozzie, Moser sticks with him and won't go away. Burton to Kick-Out. Kick-Out is thumped in the tackle, but the ball was kicked through. And Staggs didn't realise it. Staggs put a big hit on Kick-Out and wanted to let him know about it. The thing he didn't realise was that Kick-Out had put the grubber in, so he didn't actually have the ball. And this game now blows up. Isn't it interesting how Broncos games, when you know you've got the Broncos beaten, and Bulldogs have got them well and truly beaten here, but isn't it interesting? We saw it in the grand final as well. You know when you've got the Broncos beaten when they start getting into the push and shove off the ball. That's when you know you've got the Broncos team beaten. Oh, Jamie, you're at the game. Reece Walsh has been called out here by the referee. And he gets away with just a talking to. Penalty to the Broncos. They put it into touch on halfway. 5 minutes remaining, 40 points to 10. This will shake up the Wasted Water Sports tipping contest for certain. Some perfect rounds in the making have been broken with this performance. Jensen. Tackle 3. 20 out from the Bulldogs line. Moser to Walsh. Back to Moser. To Jensen again. Jensen straightens and goes to ground. Still 20 out from the line. Reynolds. Flat pass to Tapau. Tapau steps in field and scores. Marty Tapau scores. The comeback's on. 40 points to 14. Kick to come from right in front. What I found amusing, DJ Shack, was the referee let Reece Walsh speak to him that way, back chat to him, and then did he say, because I've got the volume down really low, right? Because I'm commentating as well. So I've got the volume down pretty low. But did I hear the referee, after Reece Walsh went on an absolute tirade, basically shot off 2 sentences at him, did the referee honestly just say, did I hear it correctly? And the referee say, Reece, I'm talking here. It's like, no, you weren't. You shut up and just let him blast you for 2 sentences. Did I hear that correctly? Like I said, I've got the volume down very low because I'm calling the game myself. But if I heard that correctly, I did have a little chuckle. Like, Reece, I'm talking. No, you're not, mate. You just stood there and let him berate you for 2 full sentences. Robert Farris says they can't send him off. He is protected by the NRL as he is a star. God bless you, sir. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that sees through that bollocks. Sometimes I feel like I'm on a planet of my own, and I'm the only one that sees it. So God bless you, sir. The James says, Walsh said, I was protecting my teammate. You would do the same if you played the game, mate. That's what he said to the ref. There you go. I would have slapped him. I would have slapped the eyeliner straight off him. And then I would be banned from officiating. 3 minutes to go in this one. 40 points to 16. What a surprising scoreline. Say what you like about the result, but the scoreline, I think, it's safe to say that nobody really saw that coming. I'm on board with the result. Like I said, if Stephen Crichton were playing, I would have seriously contemplated tipping the Bulldogs myself. I probably still would have tipped the Broncos because of the Bulldogs' horrible away record. But I would have considered it. Didn't see 40 points to 16 coming. This is hilarious. 2 minutes to go. Bulldogs back on attack. Man, dummies. Goes into contact. Gets the arms free. Offloads back to Ahoy. 5th and last. 30 metres out. Burton puts it high. Arthurs loses it forward. Kick out, collects it. It's called a knock on against the Bulldogs. Double knock on. The Bulldogs will challenge this. Dr. Pooh said Sean Fitzpatrick used to tell the ref to go shove his ruling where the sun don't shine, then sit down for 10 minutes. That's hilarious. They were different times back then. Very different times back then. Challenge unsuccessful. The double knock-on call remains. A minute and a half to go. Pain in the Haas offloads to Powell with the offload back to Moser. Moser keeps it alive to Ricky, but the Bulldogs defense holds its line. Broncos have made no meters. That's the 4th. 1 minute to go. A season-defining performance from the Bulldogs here. Walsh with the cutout pass to Oates. Oates juggles it, reaches behind his back to try and collect it, but it inevitably spills it forward, and the Bulldogs are back in possession. "30 seconds to go. The Bulldogs..." He almost caught it, indeed. Big Mo Bambino, you've got a joke for me. What did Devon say to Bubba in McDonald's? "Oh, my brother, test the fries." Oh, see, I thought it was going to be... I thought we were going to go down a table route. Burton with a drop goal, just to add insult to injury. Matt Burton slots a field goal, because why the hell not? 41 points to 16. Why not take a field goal? I'll tell you what, Big Mo Bambino, are you still out my way? Or thereabouts? I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. If you wish to cruise around here to the Wasted World of Sports HQ studios, we will cover SummerSlam. What do you say? You're allowed to say no. Because I'm so not interested. I'm honestly not interested, but what will make me interested is A, catching up with you, and B, talking bollocks while the show's on. Outside of that, I have no real interest in the show at all. DJ Bluck685 says, Broncos go sleep now. It's the Wasted World of Sports, mate. It's all we do around here. Can we? That'd be like, honestly, that'd be like going around a Snoop Dogg's place and asking if you can light up a cone. Robert Farris says, great call. Thank you. Great win by the Dogs. How insulting, Matt Burton slotting that field goal right on the stroke of full time. That's hilarious. 41 points to 16. Well, they didn't score 50, so the Broncos season is still alive. Neutralizer says, glad I tipped Bulldogs for the win. Oh, good job, Neutralizer. I didn't. I've got to be honest when I say the Bulldogs' really poor away record this season, on top of no Stephen Crichton, I had honestly given them no chance. But they came out and just dismantled the Broncos, didn't they? Tore them to shreds on their home turf. That's probably the Bulldogs' best away game all season long. Honestly, I'm curious to look at just... I'm curious to confirm or deny that thought. How have the Bulldogs been away from home this year? Okay, so Bulldogs away from home. Spanked by Parramatta in round 1, 26 points to 8. Spanked by the Sharks in round 2, 25 points to 6. Beaten by the Rabbitohs, 20 points to 16. Beaten by the Storm, 16-14. Beaten by the Panthers, 16-10. Beaten by the Raiders, 24-20. They beat the Knights, but everyone beats the Knights. Smashed by the Roosters, 26-8. Beaten by the Cowboys, 2018. Yes, okay, so you can understand why, away from home, I didn't think the Bulldogs would pull this performance out of their Anusi. You can understand that. Based on that history of away games, this is a complete oddity. Here against the Broncos, 41 points to 10. Yeah, that was like Dr. Pooh. Have you ever seen the movie See No Evil? See No Evil with Kane. WWE Films horror movie, See No Evil with Kane. And at the very end of the movie, the dog walks across the screen and takes a big piss on the killer's face. That is exactly what this was like. The drop goal was just like, we've already killed you. We're going to have a whiz on your face right now. Just to add insult to the killing. Wow, 41 points to 16. What a performance from the Bulldogs. Unbelievable. All right, Waste of Water Sports, thank you so much for your company. As always, we're going to sign off here, and we'll be back for the next two games in about half hour, I think. About 20 minutes, yeah. So, we're going to end this stream, and then I'll start a new stream, and we will be doing Cowboys versus the Sharks. And the Roosters versus the Sea Eagles. Back-to-back games coming up in about 20 minutes' time here on the Wasted World of Sports. Now, the Cowboys Sharks is an interesting one. Stephanie, stay funny, Steph, ahoy! The Cowboys Sharks is an interesting one. The Sharks are undefeated. They're 4 from 4 against the Cowboys in regular season games up in Townsville. But the Sharks have also got a lot of outs. I feel like that record could be broken tonight. I'm leaning towards the Cowboys to win that one. And then the Roosters and the Sea Eagles straight after that. I think the Roosters win, in all honesty. But we'll see. So we're going to take our leave now. We'll be back with a new stream in about 20 minutes' time. Big doubleheader. Cowboys versus the Sharks. Roosters versus Manly. The Bulldogs have got the job done here. 41 points to 16. Can you believe that? Oh, that poor chick just got whacked in the face with a phone. All right. I shouldn't find that as funny as I did, but I did. All right. Wasted Water Sports, thank you so much. We'll catch you for the next two games right here tonight in about 20 minutes' time. Cowboys, Sharks, Roosters, Sea Eagles. Catch you then. Thanks for your company in this one. Cheers.
Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play. But it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Scrums and tries, they're all well and good, but we're here for the jokes and 10 past last. From the kickoff to the final whistle blow, we'll take the two and we're ready to go. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest. to all cheer. We'll see you on the pitch and drink some beer.